Obligatory podcast intro.
Hi, hello, and welcome. This is Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. I'm Matt with my co-host Adam, and this show is where we take all 15 letters of the alphabet, we put it in a burlap sack, we each draw a letter, and then pick a comic that begins with that letter. I don't know his, he doesn't know mine. Spoilers ahead for these two comics and possibly any other nonsense we end up talking about.
Yeah,
it's possible.
We never worry about spoilers about anything ever. So.
I think we're pretty good about it, in all honesty.
But not doing spoilers?
Yeah, obviously we spoil the shit out of these comics.
Exactly.
But like when we bring up a movie, sometimes we'll spoil it.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean.
Like
yeah,
I think we talked about the
Gray.
About it. We talked about the Gray once and spoiled it.
It doesn't like that's not
old.
something that crosses my mind, to be honest.
No. But you would I think we're also not talking about new shit. We're like
no,
spoilers
that's
for this
true.
40-year-old
yeah,
movie.
That does make a difference for sure.
Right. All right, so I drew Q.
Q. Well, as soon as you drew Q, I was like, okay.
This was difficult, man. I ended up going to like specific comic book sites. Like I found some lists of just Qs. I looked on them. I found like specific companies. Like I went to the ones we've done before, ones I like, and just looked for Qs. That's where I found Vault.
Yeah.
Apparently Vault has a ton of comics that begin with Q.
It's like their
Queen
gimmick.
of Swords, Queen of Bad Dreams. There's like three other Quest Ends. There's like 3, 4, 5.
I feel like it's their gimmick. Now.
They like saw the market and were like, "There's nothing that begins with Q."
Maybe that's really what happened.
I guess. I think it's Vault or Valiant.
Valiant is old, and that's what I used. It had like robot,
then it's
Magnus robot fighter.
Okay, then it's Vault because this is like Barbaric. Remember Barbaric? That really crazy fantasy story. I've heard of it. That Queen of Swords is part of Barbaric.
Oh, really?
It's just like a kind of standalone story.
Huh.
So anyway, I came across this quad. So it's by Behemoth, which turned to Sumerian comics. If I'm right about
All
it.
right.
Believe it's Sumerian. So anyways, quad, Quad, quad. It's separated. Four issues.
Okay.
4 different titles and 4 different characters, basically. It's like an anthology series.
Okay.
So this first one is called Tara and Elvis. It's story and art by Eduardo Shaw. Schaal. Shaw?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eduardo Shaw.
Yeah.
Behemoth. All right. In the last decades of the 21st century, a massive solar storm hit planet Earth, destroying all technology in its way. Global communications were lost, nuclear reactors collapsed, the climate suffered the worst drastic changes, and financial systems were gone. The survivors had to adapt to the harsh new reality. New societies were built over the ruins of those that crumbled. 4 generations have passed.
Oh, damn.
So, large-scale production was basically compromised. So, like the existing machines to survive, they needed mechanics.
Yeah, of course.
So the character of this one, her name's Tara. She is a mechanic. So it picks up with her sleeping.
Super important job, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, there's jokes in here about like it's easy to find a mechanic. The problem is getting one to just finish the damn job. So
contractors.
Yeah. So this is After Earth. This is like you see things. They have relics, which is like normal shit we would have.
Okay.
It goes into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So their phones are a little off. They're weird because it's just rebuilt technology.
No
basically.
new stuff. They're just repurposing, rebuilding.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's scrapping. So
Love that.
she's like a mechanic / scrapper.
Love
it seems
it.
like. So
yeah.
She's getting woken up early by this guy named Gordo who's like, I got a job for you. Come over. We'll talk about it. So he says the job is in Zone 7. And she's like, who the hell lives in Zone 7? Apparently Zone 7's really bad.
Yeah.
Or just more like a wasteland. And it's,
oh, shit.
She said the other side of the world, which I don't think it's all that far. It's just a very long way.
This is far for them.
And Gordo is apparently Ron Jeremy. Look.
Yeah, so this...
Look how, I mean, I know you saw like a glimpse of it, but really, look, that is Ron Jeremy.
It's 100% Ron Jeremy.
He just made
There's
it.
no way you could argue that that's not Ron Jeremy.
And it's like his name's Gordo, unless that's like a porn character he did
Gordo.
that's famous.
Doesn't it just mean fat?
I don't know.
Spanish?
Oh, yeah, right?
Or big?
Right. So, what he says is they hired us to repair a thermodata emulator. science jargon.
Tech Marmo Jumbo.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, she'll pay cash, blah, blah, blah. She's like, where can I find these parts? And he's like, guess. And she goes, damn. She has to go see the old man. And the old man says, who these days uses a piece of shit like that and still lives in Zone 7, talking about the emulator.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool. It shows her driving over the landscape. You see busted down freeways. You see old houses kind of mixed with like this rebuilt future-esque. Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
And then desert, a lot of desert everywhere.
Yeah, it looks cool.
So she rolls up to the old man and he's like, you haven't been here in over a year. And she's like, come on, Dad. I just need some parts and blah, blah, blah. So like they kind of get into it. He says, the matrix stabilizer is obsolete. So she's like, where can I get one of those? And he says, inside the power plant. And she says the ones with the mutants, which she says mutados. M-U-T-A-D-O-S.
Oh, okay.
That's mutados, right?
I guess with the D, that's weird.
Yeah, right? Huh. So I'm going to just say mutants.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, these machines, these old plants have these machines all over the place. You just got to go in and get them. And he's like, be careful. Go in the morning because the mutants are like super groggy in the morning. As long as you don't get all live and shit, they'll be fine.
Oh, man.
So she pulls up. You saw her truck, right? That big ass. Yeah. So she pulls up in that. The mutants like immediately come up and start smashing their ugly faces on the windows.
Oh, dude, those dudes are fugly.
Oh, yeah. There's shot. Oh, yeah. Right here. Look, it's like a lower angle butt shot of one of them. And they're gross. Looks like Deadpool standing there naked.
Yeah, it does.
It's gross.
Oh, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, it's rough. So there's a rack of them, and she's like, they're starting to bounce up against the truck, and she's like, calm down, Elvis. The cat's with her the whole time, and she's like talking about it. So one of them breaks the window, and she's like, oh shit, we gotta do something crazy. She drives over like a bunch of them and gets inside to this building, the plant.
Oh, you need to keep going.
She has a little device that tells her the part she needs real close.
Oh, damn.
It's like energy.
That's useful.
Right? I mean, she's looking at a thing and she's like, oh, it's right over there. And then this mutant pops up and she kills it with a flashlight, which is a pretty cool little scene. So she gets the part and she's like, let's get the hell out of here. She like drives the truck through the wall, smashes through, and then so she makes it to this I guess customer's house that needs the emulator and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So she comes in, she introduces herself as a nice old lady, and she's like taking interest in her cat. She's like picking her up, petting her, and she's like, "Oh, I got the replacement part with me." She's like, your stabilizer looks fine. And the old lady's like, "Is your cat a hybrid?" And she's like, "Ma'am, your machine isn't broken." And when she turns around, she's like this big, like alien looking monster thing.
Oh,
yeah,
that looks cool.
Yeah,
like
she
a
does.
Skinny Doomsday.
Right. Yeah. They're like zombie-esque alien monsters.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy
Long
looking.
face.
So she reaches into the cat's chest and like starts digging around and rips out this little device. And she's like, Elvis, no. So they start fighting. She drops the device and the monster, the alien thing is like, battery. So rushes over there to get it, runs away, and Tara's like hearing this weird noise, and then this like ship takes off, like from underground, basically.
Oh.
Destroys the house and the ground around it and everything. She's driving away with her dead robotic cat. She's like, there's only a few of them left in the world, so she needed that specific battery for the ship.
Okay.
So did some research, knew about this chick. It's crazy.
Wow.
So
that's some lucky ass like just
I'm sure she did some research. It's an
Yeah.
alien. She got a ship. She got to be somewhat
She got
capable.
Alien Google. It's the best.
Oh, right. Yeah, you could. You don't know what their internet's like.
Yeah.
Probably non-existent, though. But she's like, I'll take you the old man. He can fix everything. So now we get to chapter 2, or book 2. Okay. It's called Ghostware Exorcist Trent. Story
I like that.
Story and art, Lucio C. Santos.
Ooh.
In the last decades of the 21st century, a massive solar storm hit planet Earth. No, I'm not going to read it all again. All right, so this...
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I was going to read the whole thing, make you sit through it, but I'm like, nah.
Oh, I heard it.
All right, so this is the last inhabited city of the Eternal Sands. Now, it's called Dome City. It's time and collective memory are distant here. It's no longer known for the weird acronym that stands for FZ042, right? pre-storm standards, it was a booming high-tech city, but now it's just basically stuck in time, right? It's a self-sustaining city. In order to survive in the desert, the people would never need outside resources. So no one enters or leaves. Self-sustaining, everyone stays. So the humans...
Fully self-sustaining.
The humans must plan their reproduction because most are castrated when they come in to impede the growth, right?
Yeah.
And the robots are there. They're immortal, but they work just as much as the humans. So there is no money. It's a finely tuned utopia where every citizen, human or robot, basically has a job and keeps the gears spinning.
Everybody's got their spot.
Right? So this guy's name's Trent. That's what he's designated. He's a ghostware exorcist. He, let me see, stems long forgotten. So he basically goes into... Yeah, he's kind of waxing here. He's going into the first law, all the laws of robotics, all the robots have to follow in the city and out in the world.
The standard laws.
Yeah, you can't hurt a human. Robot must not cause harm to a human being, nor can it permit human harm by
inaction.
A mission, yeah. So, but it's cutting to like this guy essaying this girl, and the robot just has to watch. Or the robot is watching.
Yeah.
So then law 2, he must obey orders given by human beings, except in conflict with the first law. And it's showing this kid getting bullied, and he tells his robot to get him, and this robot just kills both of these like teenagers. That's awesome. And the kid's crying, and he's like, stop. And then he goes, law 3 must protect its own existence so long as it does not conflict with the 2 previous laws.
Yeah.
Standard laws. So it shows another guy about to kill himself, and the robot cuts his hand off.
Okay.
So he says if a machine breaks a law like those 3 we just saw, it's corrupted, and it has to been properly invaded by like these ghost virus. It's obsolete software still floating around in cyberspace.
Okay.
And the best way they get to the physical world is through robots. They don't have to follow the laws because they're not robots. They're not programmed.
They didn't have the laws put in.
Exactly. They're just obsolete software floating around in cyberspace.
I like that idea.
They call them ghost viruses.
That's cool.
Pretty cool. So he prevents it from happening, basically. So they don't destroy the robots. They use him to like impede the losses, the money loss, basically, or the product loss, really. So they don't get rid of the robots. But there's no one there to fix them. They're not producing them. There's no schematics to build them. They have mechanics, and they can build them, but scrapping for them is like basically unfeasible, all those mutants and stuff out there, right?
Okay.
So his job, prevent economic loss. Humans are afraid of robots turning, so they freak out on them.
Yeah.
Being an old type robot myself, he's susceptible to attacks from ghostware software. So throughout this comic, he's kind of dealing with that through the whole time. He's kind of like, would I know? Like, would I know if I was taken over? Like, if I don't know if I could kill a human right now.
So he knows he's a robot, but he doesn't know if he's being taken over by them. Okay.
By the weird floating programs.
Yeah, I like this.
Right? So he's there to investigate this like tunnel incident. And he's like talking about, I'd rather deal with robots, humans, blah, blah, blah. I know robots, I can get around them. I know how to use them. And that's what he talks about doing is like, he doesn't just show up to kill them. He uses them to get his job done.
They're tools, so he's trying to use them as a tool.
So he comes in, he's like, what's up? I'm Trent. What the fuck's going on? And this doctor's like, I'm Charles D., superintendent. This is 4M and loader and excavator. It's just 2 big robots that are for loading and excavating. So he's like, what happened? Calculation error. The doctor's talking to him. Killed 200 people and left like 1,000 hurt. Caused a shit ton of damage. And he's like, the robots executed my orders, my flawed orders. They still did it. So Trent's like, what? How did this happen? They said, we were following orders. And he's like, and they were? And they won't answer him because he's like, I'm a machine, so they're not bound to answer my questions. They don't have to listen to me.
Okay.
It's robot to robot. So they're just sitting there silently. And they have these weird stickers that says Atlas on their foreheads. It's just like really prominent in this picture, so I thought I'd mention it.
Oh, yeah. And
it's really the only distinguishing thing with them.
I thought they looked like people, but they do not.
No, there's people, because Trent looks like a...
Oh, he's one?
Yeah, that you might want to scroll. He's, yeah, I took one specifically to show you.
Okay. Yeah, so there's big, like, fuck-off Transformer-looking dudes, and then there's guys that are, like, he looks exactly like a person, the one guy, right? You're talking about this little guy?
That's not a robot. That's a regular guy.
Okay.
That's the Dr. Charles.
Okay.
So,
yeah, even the smaller ones still do look like robots.
Yeah, and he's, like, humanoid for sure.
Yeah.
They're not running around with, like, 8
he's
legs
closer
and
to the
shit.
right size.
He looks like, you remember that machine from Judge Dredd?
Yes, the ABC
Yes,
bot or whatever.
the head. It looks like the head just put on a body.
Yep.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
There's another picture I'll show you when it comes up.
ABC Warrior, I think is what they're called.
Yeah, because he was from another comic, and they put him in Judge Dredd.
Ha!
I remember hearing that. So, this Trent guy talking to the loader and excavator, he doesn't know if they're lying. He doesn't know if they're like trying to protect themselves or they're still following the robotics laws. But he notices that they don't have a scratch on them, so he's detecting. So he's like, "Show me where the remains are," and the doctor's like, "You can't go in there; it might collapse."
Oh,
So he comes in and it's just a giant pile of concrete, metal, robots, and bodies.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, pretty raw. I mean, 200 people died.
That's floor to ceiling junk.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they don't show it in the comic, but there's a hole drilled into the ground. And he's like, the robots I spoke to out there, the loader and excavator, they had different logos on their heads. So this one says Zeds, and they had Atlas. So he is kind of like musing to himself. So it's probably sabotage from an anti-city development extremist group, right?
Okay.
So... calling for backup. I have terrorism suspects in the tunnel. The 2 robots are standing behind him when they're like, "We told you it was dangerous." And one of them attacks him with a big drill. They get in a big fight. He pulls his gun out and just starts blasting them. So the next panel is the doctor getting chased by the loader and excavator. And he's freaking out. He's like, "Help." He's like, "What the hell's going on?" He's like, so part of exercising robots is use them to solve my own problems. You gave me the final proof when you ordered your machines to destroy me. And he's like, "Me? How do you know that?" He's like, "I'm a detective. I have tools too." He's like, "This gun is a control gun for robots. I shoot them with these darts I made myself." Basically reprograms them on site right there. And he said, "I only asked them to attack the person who ordered them to kill me." So he says, "Hey, go attack the person who told you to kill me." And they attack the doctor. So he goes, "Okay, so now I know. They're not lying. They're erased. They're fresh. And that's what they did. So I know." And he says, "But you're a robot. They're robots. You can't attack humans." And he says, "You can hurt humans. We can't hurt humans. We can attack them all we want.
Damn.
But you can't hurt them."
Okay.
So he's like, "I regained control over them with my gun, and they basically sold you out." And they're like, "Any evidence to arrest me?" And he lifts up his shirt and he sees an Atlas tattoo. So he basically finds out he's right, that this is an because the robots have the same logo and stamp on it. And he's like, it's an anti-expansion. So they're building a tunnel to expand the city. And this guy's like, "We should never do that. We should never expand. This is what made us who we are, blah, blah, blah." Right? So he gets this little, looks like a CD player, like an old school Walkman CD player.
I remember.
He pushes the play button, a big light, it erases them completely, the robots.
Damn.
And he tells, they're like, "Where are we?" And he's like, "Enjoy your nap." He's like, "Start your new job as cleaning." He's like, "There's a big mess to clean up." They're like, "Okay." So he gives the cop the CD and he's like, "This was everything that was on their hard drive. So there you go. There's the evidence for that worm you took to jail." Right? So the end. That's how that one ends. He's going to save another, I don't know, someone's holding a bunch of kids hostage, another robot or something. So chapter 3, it's called Walls. Story and art by Diego Sanchez. In the last decade of the 21st century, a massive... No, I'm just playing. So this one, the automaton cities, right, are a strange phenomenon. They didn't exist before the storm. They shouldn't exist after. But here they are. No one knows how they were built, why they exist, and these walled, isolated outposts sprinkled all over the land. And it's someone saying, "I don't like them at all." So it starts with these like biker-looking dudes, and they're riding this hover bike, and they're cruising through the desert, and they ride up on this town, and there's this young kid. I guess he's like 15, maybe.
Yeah.
He's looking out the window, which is like a laser wall, like a boundary.
Future.
Basically. Yeah, kind of future. Right? So he's looking out and he sees this guy riding on his little hover bike, and he's like, who are they? And they're like, this kid's like, oh, they're the trash men. And he's like, what do they do? He's like, they bring in trash, I guess, from out there.
Trash. Okay.
They're like, that's weird. He's like, why? They get to leave, and he's like, the other kid's like, why would anyone want to leave here? And our main character is kind of like looking down and morose. So he sticks his hand out of the little laser barrier, and this giant like worm robot pops out of the wall and is like, "Hey, don't fucking do that! Like, knock that off!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Sorry," and he's like, "Don't do it again." And
It's like instant, like
yeah,
that?
like yeah,
Wow.
like yeah. Here, look, here's the panel.
Yeah,
He sticks his hand through and it immediately pops
Oh
out.
shit! Like literally.
And when it goes back in, so he's on a bridge. It goes back into the side of the bridge.
Okay.
So it felt it, popped out, and
It's like part of the bridge.
swirled
almost.
around. Exactly, swirled around and was like, knock it off.
Ah.
So basically, every day is the same in this city. They wake up, they go to work, they take their pills, and then when it gets dark, they go home. It's just a bunch of humans. So this night is different, and he's like, every day's the same except this one. So he gets like a rocker or something and keeps the door from closing all the way because it's all automated, right?
All right.
So he sneaks out, he's running through town, and he's like dodging these like security droids and stuff. It's real tense. It's pretty crazy. And he comes across it looks like a homeless encampment, and it's those guys, the trash men. So he's spying on them, and they're like, what are you doing here, kid? And he's like, I want to be one of y'all. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Take me with you.
Right.
And he's
Just
like,
wants
do you
to
even
join the circus, basically?
Yes. He's like, get the fuck out of this town. And he's like, I don't even know why we're here, you know? So they're like, do you know what we do? And he's like, I have no idea. And they said, well, what's your name? And he gives this long number, EKO27, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And they're just like, well, let's call him EKO. And they call him, I guess that's Echo? Or
Yeah.
Eco? I'd say Echo.
Yeah.
So they call him Echo, and he's like, do you know what we do? We're the trash men. And he says, I'm really interested in being able to leave and see the world.
Yeah.
And he's like, the guys are saying the things we find are trash. He's like, I don't understand. He's like, look, people in this city live like ants. They're born there, they die there working. No dreams, no joy, no nothing.
Right.
So basically what you find out is these guys need some of the things this city produces. So they trade.
Right.
They bring in trash, but the trash is things the robots don't understand. Basically, it's things from ancient civilizations. And he goes something like this, and he gives them a Walkman, and he puts it in and starts jamming music, and he's like almost crying, and he's like, what is this?
You
and
hadn't
like,
heard music before?
Nope. He's like, that's music, man. And he's like, why would the robots need you to bring these things here? And he goes, oh, because they know what they do to humans. They're smart enough to know what they do to humans, and it gives them ideas, hope, inspiration, which is the worst thing to have in a city like this.
Yeah.
So the kid freaks out, and he's like, we can't let that happen. And the trash men, there's like 3 of them. They all start laughing at him. And the kid's like, man, fuck you. Like, I was wrong. I thought you were different, but you still do exactly what the robots want. So he takes the Walkman. He runs off. He goes into the city and gets caught and just stands there. And because he's caught out after dark, the robot just obliterates him.
Oh, shit.
And turns him to nothing.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Let me see this. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
A grease stain on the floor.
Yeah, he's gone. And that's how that one ends. Is the robot saying sequence completed, and it's just the Walkman on the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, that one was rough. I was like, whoa.
That's Black Mirror style.
Yeah, that's
writing.
he just didn't want to be there. That one was really good. Like, what?
You know what year it came out?
I do.
Oh,
I know for you.
Right.
I forgot.
Ah!
No, it's 2022.
Really?
Yeah. All right, so this is the fourth. Wait.
Did it feel like it was 2022?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. These guys definitely have a interesting styles. I mean, each one is different.
Yeah.
We've had three different people who do the complete story in art. So
yes.
three guys made three. Yeah, it's
they
really
do
interesting.
The art and the story. That's
story
cool.
and art by three guys, cool. Basically.
That's really cool.
So we get to the fourth one. This is the last one. It's called Sally. Story and art by Eduardo Ferragato. Nice. And I messaged this dude because I asked him what's happening with this comic. Like,
I would like some clarification, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to holler at you because this one was my favorite.
Yeah.
So in the last decades of the 21st century, a massive solar storm hit planet Earth, destroying all technology in its way. It's at the beginning of every chapter.
It's worth it.
Right. So this one's about Captain Lucas. He is one of the best pilots of the Space Colony's Explorer Squad. Right? Okay. So we pick up with this guy is Private Daniel. He's doing recordings of his missions. He's like, day 46, damage to the core, warp engines kept us here. We're orbiting an unknown planet. We spotted debris from a cargo ship. We're trying to repair it enough to get down there and get all the other parts we need. So they're just stuck floating around this planet. And he's like
bootleg some stuff together.
Exactly. Get back home. Mm-hmm. So this guy's like, the captain's been showing, signs of depressive moods, paranoia, irritability. And he's like, according to the code, I can initiate order 523 from the Space Fleet code. So he sneaks in on Captain Lucas and he shoots him. And he freaks out and he's like, what the hell was that? And he's like, it's just some psychoactives and or psychotropic agents, antidepressants, and downers. He's like, you can start defying my orders now. So they're beefing, they're stuck together, so they're kind of bickering at each other.
Yeah.
So the coordinates are ready. They're about to roll out. There's an electrical storm, and Daniel's like, Captain, we should wait a little bit. And he's like, no, fuck that. I'm trying to get back to the colony. Let's go. It gets struck by lightning. So now there's more things wrong with it.
Yeah.
So as they're crashing on the planet, it shows three people, quotation marks, people standing there, and they crash. And so the captain's like, I can't be in the ship any longer. I'm rolling out. I'm going to go find that cargo ship. It's still marked on my map. Let me go see if we can find our stuff. So he ends up finding it, and he gets inside. He breaks inside, and it's like some kind of creepy stalker stuff. It looks like someone's behind him, and then the next panel, they're not. So, and you could tell he's kind of paranoid. He's like, hello? He's like, who's there? He's kind of freaking out, like, what's going on? So he ends up finding the part they need. And he sees this blinking light, and it's a message. So he listens to it, and it's from this woman named Sally. She is a pilot, and she said their ship landed in an unknown planet, and they're being attacked. And as the message is going, it cuts off. So the crew, it looks like, had been dead for a minute. So he's passes out from just this rush of activity. He starts freaking out because he's hearing this message. Dude just ends up passing out. So he wakes up later, 40 minutes, this Private Daniel has been calling him. And he's like, I fixed the problem. I got the ship going. I'm on my way to you. What's going on? And Captain Lucas is like, I found a potential survivor. We need to fix that core engine. Then we need to go after her before it's too late. So Daniel shows up. They're together. And Captain Lucas is immediately like, let's go to these coordinates.
Okay.
So they roll up to a junkyard. And Daniel's like, I don't like this. Private Daniel's like, I don't like this. The captain's like, come on, let's go. I see her. Runs up. He sees her. She's been dead for months.
Oh, yeah.
Just stuck to a pole.
I knew something.
Yeah. So then these three people pop up, and they say, it's a weird language. It's like, scrit.
No,
it's
and
just,
booms.
Yeah, it's just gibberish.
Yeah.
So he's like, they're about to shoot, and the Captain Lucas is like, in extreme circumstances. And he's like, sir? So he grabs Private Daniel, and Daniel gets shot in the eye and 3 times in the chest. As he's getting shot, though, Captain Lucas pulls his guns out and kills all 3 of these guys.
Wow.
And so the next panel, after all the bad guys fall down, you find out Private Daniel's a robot.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm not built for bullet impact, but no critical damage, so we're good.
What?
So he's like, goes up to the bad guys, the guys that just tried to kill him. He kicks them down, and his mask pops off. And he's saying this weird language. He sees it's a human. He's like, they look like us. He's a human. And he says, where are we? Where are we? So the weird alien human guy, he says Earth. So the Private Daniel translates it as Earth. So they're on Earth right now. So Captain Lucas and Daniel are not from Earth or have been gone so long that
They're not used
they
to
don't
Earth
remember Earth, I guess. So they end up burning Sally, giving her a proper funeral because he felt bad. He's like, I really thought she was alive. Kind of fucked him up. So they end up fixing the ship. He's like talking to his robot guy, Daniel, and he's like, I would have done it myself. And he's like, really? He's like, yeah, it's one of my directives. I can't permit a human to be injured. He's like, what about the other guys? And he's like, well, I didn't know they were human yet. So, right? So he gets in a bath and he comes out all fresh and clean. Private Daniel's good. And the last scene is Captain Lucas doing research on Earth. And it says, your search has yielded 0 results. Would you like a new search?
Oh, okay.
And that's how it ends. So at the bottom, though, of the digital copy, there is a on the next issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done it again.
Yeah.
I don't know if it hasn't come out yet or if it's not at all.
You said it 2022?
2022. So it's possible it's just getting made.
It could keep going.
Could. I couldn't find anything on the internet about it. But it didn't bother me this time because I initially thought it was an anthology series because when I read about it, it was like 4 issues. This is it, volume 1, blah, blah, blah. Like, and so I was like, cool. And when I finished it, I felt satisfied. I wasn't like, oh man.
I have to have more.
Yeah, well, more would be cool, obviously, but
it's designed to have more.
Yeah, it seems it wrapped it up each story. Like, okay, we got a story about a mechanic's life. This dude who hunts ghosts in the software. This kid who goes through this awful day every single day of the same thing, just needing to escape and ends up dying. And then this dude who has no idea what Earth is, with no records of Earth, who lands on Earth and then leaves. All he saw were those weird guys. He has no idea that Tara and Elvis are out there and all that stuff. If that is Earth.
They got a little tiny bite.
Pretty sure. Nibble. So it looked like it said a new story in the world of Quad, and it had Tara and the chief, one of the trash men. They know each other. Okay. So that was going to be the next issue. But honestly, I'm like, cool. If it comes out, awesome. If not, I enjoy it as a 4-issue just anthology. Hey, here's a little bit of info about the world. Cool. So now I know that's out there. This is out there. Okay, that's what's going on there. It's interesting.
It's not ruined by the fact there's not more.
Exactly.
It's not ruined. It's just
still
dope.
4 very cool stories. Yeah. In my opinion. And I'm not a fan of anthology.
No.
It's not my thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I want a full story. And to feel actually satisfied with it, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
That's dope.
Yeah, it was nice, man. I'm glad I found it.
I love the anthologies.
Right?
So I got M, and I was like, hell yeah. Like, Matt's got an M, right? You had Mr. Easter.
I did Mr. Easter, yeah.
So, like, I don't think I had gotten an M yet. So I went up to half price as usual. I checked my comics that my uncle had given me first. Always check those first to make sure he doesn't have something that I can use.
I need to start checking your
shit. Yeah, there's a bunch I haven't used, so
digital copies are cheaper than
Yeah, well, these are free. So
yeah, that's true. That's I need to check. I knew you didn't have no fucking Q though.
No, I did not. Anything. I thought one of the mangas I had might have a Q, but I did not.
Nope.
No, I even checked. So like I got M, so I was like, dope. That'll be easy. Go half price like normal. I'm looking through. There's a pretty cool little selection. It wasn't a ton, but I couldn't find it at first because it was on part of one shelf and then dipped down to the bottom of the next shelf.
Yeah,
they were kind of separated a little bit. So at first I was like, holy crap, there's like 7, and I was like, oh my god, and they were all like Marvel team up, Marvel classics, Marvel this, Marvel that, like old compilation book type thing.
Right.
And I was like, oh crap, and that's all that was there right at the beginning. But down at the bottom was the rest of the M's because Marvel's MA, so it's the first of the M's.
Right.
So I'm finally fine. The rest of them, there was a good bit.
Sure, there's a lot of Marvel stuff.
Yeah, there's a ton. Because it has to be named Marvel, too. Mm-hmm. It can't just be a Marvel comic because it won't be in that part.
Yeah, so it's Marvel's blah, blah,
something
blah.
Marvel, exactly. So it wouldn't be like just a plain Spider-Man. It'd be like Marvel team-ups with Spider-Man and Hulk and whatever.
Marvel's quad.
Yeah, whatever they do. Yeah, so like I'm skimming through and I'm like, oh cool, of course there's always some Image comics.
Right.
And like I said, I always kind of like try to stay away from mainstream at all.
Yeah, you want interesting
I want it all
underground stuff.
because I am going to end up using tons of mainstream stuff.
Yeah,
eventually.
I will too.
Tons
I
of
try
it.
to avoid it, but I know
It's impossible not
coming.
to.
It's coming.
Exactly. So like I found a back that was blank. So the spine of this book is blank.
Oh, okay.
It's just black. And I was like, ooh, what's that? And a lot of times they're like self-published ones or like really underground ones because pretty much everybody knows you need to put something on the spine if it fits. Supposed to put it on there. So I like folded it over, and this is like to describe it. Like somehow I'll show it in the YouTube video, but it's like pamphlet style.
It is really comically long.
Like taller than a normal comic, but way narrower.
You know, remember those guitar chord books that were just tiny, like little notepad looking?
Okay.
It's like that, but a little wider.
Yeah.
It's like a little guitar chord book.
So I didn't even open this comic when I bought it. I looked at the back.
You were just like, "Yup,
yeah,
this
instantly."
is it."
Like the art on the cover is amazing. I love it. It's black and white.
It is cool.
He's
got a little face.
So like.
Is that a roach?
It's weird. It's a beetle, basically.
Okay.
But that's a man. That's our main character.
Yeah, I figured.
Gregor. That's our main character,
something
Gregor.
to do with that.
So, like, this was, like I said, not by a comic book company. This is by somebody called Hampton Brown.
Hampton Brown.
Yeah. So, like, this company, as far as I can tell, is based out of Houston somewhere.
Nice.
Which is dope. Let's see. Where does it say? Oh, is this not the right one?
Well, I saw an ad page in there.
What in one of the parts it says something about it being Houston.
Well, it said something about you can get it at this store.
Oh, then that
And
might
it
be what
said
it was.
in
Because right
Houston.
here it's saying something about California.
Okay.
But okay, it doesn't matter. But so like I got like, oh cool, it's a book company I've never heard of, whatever. It's by Franz Kafka, which is he lived in like the very early 1900s, like 1905. He died in like 1924 or something like that. I knew of him. I wasn't some fan. I'm not some like awesome literary guy. I wasn't like, oh, Franz Kafka, my favorite. I'd heard of the name, and it says adaptation. So it's adapted by Peter Cooper. Kuper.
Cooper.
So I knew it wasn't going to be the full. This is a book, basically. It's like a small graphic novel version of his book.
Okay, so you can find this just
the
written
actual
as a book.
It's the real book's called The Metamorphosis as well.
The Metamorphosis.
Yeah. So
I don't
like
think you've said that yet.
I don't think I did.
Metamorphosis by
Metamorphosis.
Franz Kafka.
Yeah, adapted by Peter Cooper.
So when they say Kafka-esque, they mean this guy.
This guy. Yes.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's him.
Oh.
Yeah. So just this.
I was making a joke.
No,
That's cool.
no. So like.
Thought this was like his little cousin. Or
Immediately to let you know, this is basically what I found out when I started reading this. This would be like a book that a library in intermediate school probably would give out to all the kids in a classroom at once, so they could all do group work with it. So at the bottom of all the pages, it's got definitions for words that an adult person would definitely should know.
Let me see.
Yeah, go check it out.
Oh, okay.
So like
it
they
says
describe
prank, joke.
Yeah, so they describe.
It's like, oh wow.
Some of them is useful because his writing is old. So there's a few times where like the way he uses sentences and words does kind of need to be explained a little bit. So those parts are cool because this is reading comprehension is what this is. This is reading comprehension and reading analysis. So this is designed for groups of children to read together and discuss. That's the point.
I would let my kids read something like
it's perfect.
Hot with shame and grief. He's feeling embarrassed and sad. Asthma. It's a sickness that makes it hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Like it's just
they give you
defining
context to stuff.
Just
too.
regular words that I feel like 5th and 6th graders would probably know, could figure out.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, what? Why are these words the ones they chose to define?
Right. Oh, okay. That's hilarious. So you bought
but basically a kid's like study book. So at first I was like, oh, this is like a teacher version, but I realized it's not the teacher version. It's the version that the kids would get. So on the very back it says level 3, and it's got 2 little red circles.
Dude, did you do level 1 and 2 yet?
I skipped them, bro, and like
Ooh.
I think I might get in trouble.
Yeah, you might.
I don't want teacher to know.
No.
No, she
No,
might
no.
call my mommy.
She might.
I don't want that.
And you'd have to read
More books.
1 and 2.
Jesus. So obviously this is level 3. I didn't do the research into which level, how many levels there are. But honestly, the kind of discussions they want you to have in this feel pretty advanced, honestly. Like the words defined are garbage, like baby words.
Yeah.
But like the things they want you to discuss about it are real. They're like legit. Like, okay. So this part was super good to get context to this story. So I'm going to read this whole part. It's like a paragraph or two, but it's very important. The personal life of Kafka. So this is the guy who wrote it. This isn't a description of the book. This is the guy who actually wrote it.
Okay.
What kind of mind could create the Metamorphosis? The way work was valued in the 20th century influenced the way Kafka wrote, but what else influenced it? There must have been something within Kafka himself that made him write such a strange story. And then it's got little bullet points. Kafka was born in Prague on July 3rd, 1883. He and his family were among the minority of German-speaking Jews at the time. This set him apart from his community. Kafka's father was a strict man who was very hard to please. He never appreciated his son's talents or love of writing and literature. Kafka never felt he was good enough. And then this is where it gets kind of sad. Beginning in 1917, Kafka became sick with tuberculosis. He spent much of his time in hospitals and was very dependent on his parents. This caused him to feel unhappy and isolated until his death in 1924. So after he got tuberculosis, he just stayed sick and couldn't do any work himself. So his parents that were already older and had worked their entire life had to continue to work more to help support him because he was sick all the time. So our story here, to hop into the story, our story is about a man who turns into a bug in the middle of the night, which causes him not to be able to work anymore, which he lives with his parents and was supporting his parents. But now that he turned into a bug, his dad has to go back to work, his younger sister has to go get a job, and his mom has to work more hours or whatever.
Jesus, man.
So it's almost like a direct lift
Yeah,
from
I see
this
why you
fool's life.
read the thing.
It's
first.
important. It was so important.
Kind of brought it down a little bit, but
Yeah, but that's so important. So that's why I said the discussion material in whatnot in here is real.
Oh, okay.
Like
That's
very,
what you were getting at.
Yeah, it very I wouldn't say advanced because I don't know what age they're supposed to be reading this at. Maybe this is supposed to be
Level 3.
like seniors or something, then it would be dumb. But if they're young and they're supposed to be talking about this stuff, it's crazy. So like he wakes up as a bug and doesn't realize he's a bug right away. He's almost the same size as a regular man still.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, it's gross. And his head is still a man head with a little bit of antenna on it. So like his whole body is like very beetle roach like. And then like some of the stuff that first happens to him, he turns into a roach, can't get out of bed right, can't whatever. They think he's sick, and his boss, hasn't been late but maybe 2 hours so far, and his boss shows up at his door demanding to see him.
Oh, hell
and
no.
for him to explain why he hasn't come into work.
They can see he's a roach, right?
Nobody has yet.
Okay, no
So
one
he
has
hasn't.
yet.
They think he's sick
Just sick and
or
sleeping.
whatever.
I
So-
guess if he had his blanket all the way up, you could just see his face.
He had the door locked before anybody was. He said he's a
'Cause he was
traveling
beaten off
salesman.
before-
He's
before
a traveling.
the-
They even it just because apparently it was weird to lock your door at night, so they bring it up in
What?
this. Listen. So like he's like from the habit he picked up the habit of locking his door at night. Being a traveling salesman. So he was in boarding houses all the time, not even like
Right.
hotels and shit. So like just random salesmen, whoever, crazy drifters. And so you would have to lock all your doors at night, which was considered weird. And then he doing it at his house later was considered weird. Like whenever he got home, he kept it as a habit and would lock his door at home. And people like they bring it up, they're like, that's weird.
How is that weird?
It's almost 100-something years ago, so that's why.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I just kind of don't want anyone to be able to walk in
Immediately into
when
your
I'm
room.
sleeping.
It's a comfort thing, right?
I mean, I guess they had like a weird, like on the country, just, oh, well, that dude's been fishing for like the next 3 weeks so you could sleep there.
Oh, right,
And he's
right,
like, just
right,
don't
right.
fuck everything
Yeah,
up and you're good.
Bunkhouse type thing.
And he comes home like, oh, someone stayed. Cool.
Yeah, they
It's
cleaned
not-
up after them. Thank God.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, appreciate. Oh, they left me some beans.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's yeah.
So like,
It's interesting.
like I said, like basically his boss fucking like shows up at work or at his house and
Yeah, that's
immediately,
fucked up.
I don't know how he got there that fast because he describes how long it takes him to get to work, and he was only like 2 or 3 hours late at that point. That means that boss would have had to left an hour ago, so he was only an hour or two late.
Maybe he's always early.
Well, he's a badass worker.
Yeah.
Was the point?
He's always an hour early, so he's like, where the hell is he?
Yeah, so like his
That's
boss
how he made it.
friggin' shows up, starts yelling at him through the door, and this is where they finally see him. They open up the door, his boss sees him, his parents see him, his sister hasn't seen him yet. So he lives with his mom, dad, and his sister. His sister's younger than him, he's the older brother.
Right.
So this is the first time anybody sees him, and like, they do freak out, but not to the level and they bring that up in like some discussion, like, why is it that they don't make bigger of a deal? They're more like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Like saying it like that, like,
'Cause
why
they
would you
see
do
their
that,
son
Gregor?
as a bug.
They see it as like nothing.
Let's get into this.
Yeah, so that's the great,
let's-
like,
yeah.
they call it, what is it at the end? The exchange.
Oh,
so the
that's
whole
actually-
the whole point of this book is at the end to do this exercise
Okay,
called
kids.
the exchange.
Exchange ideas.
Yeah,
Now the question.
Read it. Thank you.
Do we become how others see us? Oh, I see where it's going.
Dude,
Okay.
it's cool. It's cool. So, like, they see him. His mom, like, passes out. His boss is like, ew, you're gross. Like, you're fired or some shit.
Yeah, that's gross.
And then his dad, is like, ew, you're disgusting immediately. Nobody's like, are you okay, Gregor? Or, like,
Yeah, if
you
you
gonna
were a
be
giant beetle or so, I'd kill you.
Yes. That's not.
I'd hope you'd kill me.
That's not a crazy idea, I don't think.
If I could fly though, I'd like let me fly.
No,
for a little
I'll
bit.
kill you.
Yeah,
Don't
okay.
worry.
That's what I'd want.
So, like, the end of this chapter is, like, his dad kicking him into his room and, like, locking him into
Get
the
your
room.
nasty ass in
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Look, he goes, shoo! Like he's a bug. Shoo!
Jesus.
He's a bug. So now he's, like, stuck in the room for, like, days and days. He says he's scared of the high ceiling, so he climbs under the couch because he's a bug. So he's like starting to like act like a bug
Big
more.
open spaces.
Yeah, he done like the big open spaces.
You turn the light on. He's
He skitters. He scuttles. Skitters, all of it.
like,
Yeah, so like his sister keeps bringing him normal food that he would normally eat. He doesn't like it anymore. Then she brings him like trash, basically. He loves it, so he starts eating the trash. So he's more and more like a beetle, getting more and more depressed. His parents, nobody talks to him because he can talk, but you can't understand him.
oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He
Like, is it speaking a bug language?
yeah, pretty much. Because, okay, so whenever his
Okay.
mom goes, are you okay, Gregor? He's like, whatever, kind of. And he was like, how did she not know? He said because the door was thick, and she just heard that he said something. So he can make noises similar to what a human... It says he has bug-like speech, so he's kind of... I bet they could figure it out. I bet they could friggin' figure out if they wanted. Because it's...
If it's phonetic, like
well,
it goes...
something. I don't know.
If
But
it lines up with English.
they go into some cool details in this and whatnot. So nobody talks to him. He's just like treated like a bug at this point.
Right.
So he doesn't get any news except for listening to his parents and sister talking to each other over dinner. So that's his entire world now, is listening to them over dinner.
The boss is still there, like
Right.
still talking shit.
He's
Get
outside.
back in your room.
He's outside like, you dirty, dirty bug. Disgusting scuttle.
This is
Scuttle.
This is 3 days you've missed now.
Skitter away, boy.
You're so gross.
Ew.
Even if you're back to normal, I won't hire you again.
So he's really worried about the money thing. So like this whole thing is about him not being able to provide for his family. That's like the main part of it. So
Why'd
he
you-
finds
why'd
out.
you read that shit at the beginning? You should have
It's
read it
important.
afterwards.
It's important, bro. Context. So he listens and he finds out his dad actually did save some money up, so they're not going to get kicked out right away.
Nice.
Go
Dad.
Then he reflects on how he used to be able to provide her and how he can't provide anymore, and he's super depressed about it. He starts like staring out the window for days and days, and his eyesight gets really bad because he's a bug now. So he can no longer like make out what's happening outside his window.
Oh, damn, that's sad.
And the
as hell.
series of panels is just heart-wrenchingly
He looks like a duck in that last one.
When he turns, because they're like speed lines that make his bill. So like that happens, and the only person that has anything to do with him is his sister.
So, I was gonna
say, she comes in, cleans up after him, and brings him the nasty food or whatever. But she's scared of him. She thinks he can't talk, and they don't think he can even understand them. So they don't even talk to him like one way, like a dog. They don't even do that.
Man, that's messed up.
It's fucked up. So it like dehumanizes him more and more and more. His sister's really scared of him still, or like gets more scared of him. He starts like scuttling on the roof and like hiding on the roof and whatnot. He finds out that his dad and his mom had to like start working more and like pick up the slack, and his sister had to get a job, blah, blah, blah. But they're actually doing all right. They didn't lose their house. Like nothing bad really happened. But then he starts acting more and more like a bug. He scares his sister real bad, and his dad's like wants to kill him basically. And his dad's real pissed. The panel is amazing. I love it. How dark his suit is, and just like it's just a lot of expression in a panel.
Yeah.
And so like he gets real mad, and he picks up an apple and throws it at his son as hard as he can. And this whole time he's talked about how fragile he was as a bug. You would think as a giant bug with an exoskeleton in real life, you'd be really strong. But in this, the allegory is that he's super weak and like just can't. He's helpless. So he scares his sister real bad. His dad wants to kill him. Ends up just throwing an apple at him, and it gets stuck in his back, like really bad.
What?
And then he's like,
"What do you mean stuck in his back?"
Look. You're not going to like it. Tryptophobia type stuff.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah, it gets stuck in his back.
Ooh, I don't like that at all.
No, I knew you wouldn't. That's why I wasn't going to show you.
Why did I look?
So, like, the third chapter starts getting real sad.
Let's get into it.
Like, yeah. So, like, he gets real depressed. He's listening to what they're talking about. And they're like, we got to, like, get rid of him or something. Like, they're like talking about how like he's a burden and all this gnarly stuff, and he starts acting more and more like a bug. He gets more and more pissed, and then his whole family has like a giant rigmarole fight, like where they just start like actually like screaming and like fighting over what to do with him.
So was the mom like resistant to getting rid of him?
Mom was kind of in the middle, yeah.
Okay.
So she was scared of him.
Nice, okay.
She was scared of him for sure. So his sister was backing him up. His mom was kind of in the middle, and his dad wasn't having it.
My mom wouldn't have done that.
So like it's weird. I don't know why, but they hire a maid. Like what? So they fight.
What? Who hired? The
dad. He's like, there's only one solution.
Oh, so he didn't get rid of him.
I think he's gonna kill him. You think he kind of insinuates that he might be trying to kill him, but he goes, there's only one solution. We get a maid. What? The maid to clean his room and take care of him and stuff. So the maid's super mean to him, like even more than the family was. She looks evil as hell. Look at her.
Gross.
Oh, faces. Yeah. So like our segment faces.
Yeah, our segment. How are the faces?
Dope.
Yeah, they look
seriously
extremely expressive.
They're very cartoonish. Almost like caricature style, but it works with the style, the art style. It's just black and white, very heavy use. I'd say it's kind of like a Sharpie style, very heavy blacks everywhere.
Yeah,
and the faces are all extremely expressive all the time. If there was a close up on the face, I can tell the difference between the mom and the daughter, and they look very similar because they're supposed to be related.
Right,
but you can still, one has freckles, one doesn't.
Nice.
So it's cool. And then so like we get the
that was our segment. How are the faces?
Yeah, how are the faces? Dope.
Mine were cool. We forgot to do it.
We did. I can't believe.
Mine were cool.
And she calls him a dung beetle, whatever, is mean to him. And then he like lives like in his little room. They start just throwing crap in there, like using it as storage. And like he was having trouble moving around before because he's big and like gangly and whatnot. So they were just putting like old chairs and boxes in there. So now he like can barely move. So not only are they like neglecting him, they're like actually like almost like punishing him. Damn. So look at his place. It's just stuff. Oh, and the text in this is not done by speech bubbles, really. Oh, it is sometimes, but sometimes the text is just in a square.
I saw
but
that.
Also, the text will be in the art, like scattered throughout the art.
That.
And in one of them, it goes around a big circle, and you have to like wind around and come back around. It was really original. Like I'd only seen that once or twice before.
Yeah, I haven't seen that many times.
It was really cool. I'll show you after. But so what the hell? It gets so weird. So the maids there. Who are these people that show up? Oh, they're guests. They were sorry. They started taking on renters or guests or whatever to help make money because what's his name couldn't work. So these three guys start bitching and complaining about they want their food now. It's taking too long. Oh, that other room's dirty. This and that. And they're like, we're not gonna pay whatever. So they have a big like rigmarole when they see their son. They see his son.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we're definitely not going to pay. This is disgusting." So they leave, and like now
they weren't bothered that the roach was fucking 5
they
feet
don't
tall.
make a big. That's what I'm saying.
That's
like
crazy.
That's one of the things they say to discuss is why is nobody making that big of a deal about it being a giant cockroach or whatever. Right? He just feels like a roach.
Him.
He just feels like a roach.
He's just an ugly little boy.
Yeah, they yell and freak out because of him. They puke and they leave, and then it goes into a few pages of him like slowly dying. I skipped this part, so that's why it sounded like it jumped. So like they super start neglecting him. They no longer are helping him at all because of the renters leaving or whatever. So they just kind of let him starve to death in the room, and he dies. And the friggin' maid lady says she gets rid of the body. Look, there's a whole full page of him being dead.
Damn. Where's the sister? Why didn't she?
She was out done with it. They were all happy that he was dead. Basically,
Oh,
look. This is him at the end. Look how happy they friggin' are. It's like
put all this worrying behind us.
They're walking off into the sunset, literally.
Yeah, have some consideration for my feelings.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this was crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, like, it took a friggin' left turn there at the end. And can you imagine what age are they supposed to be reading this? I'm gonna look into it.
So that's interesting because the way it looks and then the content of it is like, whoa, that's some pretty heavy shit.
It's
like
genuinely heavy shit.
Yeah.
And it was dope.
Dies?
It was dope.
Everyone who cared stopped caring.
Stopped caring.
Rough.
He just slowly, and so it's at the end. It's like, what do you like? How do you become how people see you? And the just here. Look, some of the stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to look at it.
Here. You read them.
All right.
Yeah, this is the stuff at the end. That the whole point of this book.
So review your work you did in your student journal. Take your book and your journal with you to the exchange book discussion. Exchange ideas. Tell the group why you would recommend or not recommend this book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, would I recommend? Yes, I would. It's dope.
Okay. Why? No. Compare this book to something it reminded you of. Joe's apartment. Such as another book, movie, song, or personal experience. I did have a personal experience with a giant bug before. So that was very close to my heart. What questions would you ask the author about this book?
That's cool.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why do you imagine the answer? What do you imagine the answers would be? Because. No, I mean
it's cool, right?
That is interesting to have.
And
the
those
kids
are all
or
just jumping off
teenagers
points.
or whoever.
It's just cool jumping off points too.
So then it goes into the question: do we become how others see us? List some other ways people see Gregor and how they shape what he becomes. So yeah. I mean,
yep,
it's interesting. They how did they change as you got to know them?
The little discussion points are all right. They're not bad discussion points.
It's weird. I'm curious if that was a point to them not reacting to the bug.
Yeah.
Like the size and the fact that it happened.
So in a little bit of it said maybe that like he like wasn't like a roach at all. It was like just a heavy metaphor or whatever.
That's what I would figured. It's like it's just him.
When you look at his life, that's why I told you his little life story.
Yeah, because
it's basically the exact same thing. It's
this.
It's a self.
Except he just made himself a roach or a bug.
Yeah.
In this and...
Yeah, a little beetle, dung beetle is what she calls him.
Oh. Do they eat shit or do they just build with it?
I don't think
Okay.
they actually eat it. They
So
lay their,
they're taking dumps
they
and he's
lay
like
their
behind
eggs
the
in
door
it,
like, let
and
me.
they roll it to take it back to their spot.
He's like, I want to grub on some of that. I
Yeah.
smell it.
Yeah.
Let me have
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't want
But there's
potatoes.
plenty of bugs, tons of bugs that do eat shit. 100%.
Right.
Like whenever the dog poops on the patio, and if I don't get it right away, within a day when I pick it up, there's little grub-looking fuckers in it already.
Things like to eat shit. Was it protein?
I guess.
I don't know what it is. Fiber for sure, I'm guessing. All right, so you ready?
Yeah, this is the part where I beat up Matt.
Yeah. No, I won last time,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah,
all
you
right,
did.
all right.
And-
So this is our segment,
and
Matt versus Adam.
The fake one before that, we tied.
We tied. it was fake though. So this is Matt versus Adam. We take a random character generator and we see who we get and who would win in a fight. We have Marvel, DC, video game characters, and tunes, and then we have some of these other whack ones.
Yeah, and then technically we could go across them.
We
if
could
really
go
wanted.
across, like cartoon versus video
Yeah,
game.
that's what I kind of want to do. I don't know if we want to do it right now, but that's
Do it. Let's
yeah,
do it.
let's do
Cartoon versus video game character?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so who do you want?
it. It does. Let's flip for it. Basically,
Okay.
I don't have anything good
I
to
don't
flip
have a
for
coin.
at all. Oh, Bic or no Bic?
Okay. Well, what is that?
You get a pick.
So what does Bic mean?
The top or bottom. It's heads or tails.
Yeah, but what are we flipping for?
You get to pick which one the cartoon or the video game.
I don't know which one I want.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me just pick.
That's why I said, which
Oh.
one do you want?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do cartoon. I want cartoon.
So you want cartoon?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here you go
I think that's honestly the weaker of the two.
first. Click it.
It's rolling. I guess.
It might not do it. You might have to record that one
Let's see. I'll click
for a
it
second.
again. Yeah, I think you have to record.
Yeah, try and record.
Oh
it.
no, it stopped. Ah, that's hilarious. Okay.
Who'd you get?
Sailor Moon.
Oh, dude, I'm not. It's over.
Dude, you got
It's
video
over.
game characters.
Dude, Sailor
bro.
Moon. No, it's over.
Video game characters that have the craziest feats of anybody.
Sailor Moon, man. She's
I
like
know.
smoking
I'm psyched.
Goku.
I'm
She
psyched.
I got fucking Sub-Zero. It's
No
over.
way.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Ah!
Nah, man.
You had Sub-Zero before.
No, I didn't.
One of us did. Yes, we did.
I don't think so.
I swear to God.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Check
yeah.
it.
So, no, I'm not. Check what?
Just go through every single video.
Go through all
because we didn't label it anywhere. So go listen to all of them.
That's true. We did not.
No,
Dude, I can't argue this. I've
That's
heard
so
about
funny.
Sailor Moon,
Yeah.
and she is a beast.
I only know a little bit, but what I know is that she's badass.
Like, beyond badass.
Yeah.
Like people put her against Goku, and they're like,
maybe
what's
she'd
up?
win or she would win.
yeah, she
Really?
would win. She would.
I wouldn't say that. I didn't know.
No,
it was
like that's what I'm
that.
saying. There's stuff that gets in, like she's like
Her feet
God
pretty
level.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's
Damn.
no way that. Yeah, I could. Sub-Zero's not getting anywhere close to that.
No, Sub-Zero's honestly not super powerful. That's what I learned.
No,
last
I can
time.
just freeze you.
Yeah.
So likely God. That's her threat level. Likely God.
Yeah.
She's 14 to 6. Superhuman physical characteristics, immortality,
Oh, wow.
flight, transformation, clairvoyance, creation, enhanced senses, sound Look, dude, this shit just
It
keeps
go-
fucking
oh
going.
my God.
Holy manipulator, soul manipulation, power bestowal.
Oh my God,
dude,
bro.
physical strength
You
unknown,
don't even, you
likely
can't even like step to me.
likely planet level, likely solar system,
Bro.
galactic level, multi-galactic level.
Bro, you literally couldn't even get within blocks
No,
of me.
this bitch blinks at me and I'm done.
Yep.
All right, fucking
So
take
what is it? 12?
No,
What is it?
10.
No.
Yeah, it's 10. Because we
10.
faked. Yeah, it's like 10.
It's
Because I won last time.
So I stayed 10, so it's 11 now?
Yeah, it would be 11-5,
No, 11-6, right?
11-6. Yeah, 11-6.
11-6 sounds
I'll
right.
check. We'll make
We'll
sure.
check. Yeah,
When
yeah.
you start writing it down on the
So we see it.
like on the summaries of the episodes.
Oh, true.
On the bottom, we'll just put the score like beforehand for the episode.
I've never had this. We're finally far enough where I can't remember.
I forgot.
Yeah.
We need to write it down on
Yeah,
here.
we
Then.
need to write everything down.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I was surprised we got this far.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, if you following us, listening, liking any of the stuff online. We appreciate it very much.
Yep.
And we are on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter,
Yep.
whatever the
Most
fuck.
of the stuff.
Can I just call it Twitter?
Yeah,
Can I just keep
people
doing that?
will definitely know what you're talking about.
Okay, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah.
New episodes release on Monday on all podcast platforms
At midnight.
and YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, Monday. Well, no, Sunday at midnight. So it's
Yeah.
there Monday morning for your drive to
There
work
you go.
or
That's
whatever
right.
you do.
That's right. Hell yeah.
And I believe that's the show.
Yeah, man, that was cool.
Fuck you.
Hey,
Getting Sailor Moon.
I took the win gracefully this time because I'm screaming you so bad. It would be in bad taste.
Go out, find a dick,
Yeah.
and eat it.
Ugh.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.